Hey everybody, welcome to the JD Show. I'm your host, James. I'm here with Brittany Butler tonight. And Brittany, I'm not going to take any attention away from you, so why don't we allow you to introduce yourself?
All right. Hello, my name is Brittany Butler, and I am a model for many years, and I also am in the beauty and health industry of being a wellness influencer.
Very cool.
Yeah.
How many years have you been in the modeling industry?
I've been doing it actually since I've been 5 years old. My grandmother used to take me down to Miami to all my castings and auditions. So on and off, actually, for the past, I would say like 10 years or so. Yeah, I've been doing it all over the world and with a lot of designers, a lot of people in the industry.
Very cool. So, wow, 10 years. That's a long time. You're, what, 21, 22?
I'm actually 36.
36?
Yes.
Whoa, hold on. You're 36?
Yes, I know.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, what do you eat?
Well,
What do you do? I'm sure it has to be a lot more than just diet. 36? You don't look a day past 22.
Thank you. I would consider good genes. My family has pretty good genes, but I think it all comes down to my diet and working out and being really consistent with it. I also have been doing almost like it's fascia scrubbing, so it takes away like cellulite from the body and helps like keep you lean and your lymphatic like drained, which is really cool. Yeah. So a little bit of everything, I think, goes a long way, but being consistent for sure.
Wow, that's utterly amazing. And do you like post your routines on Instagram or?
I do. I have tidbits of what I do, so they're more like chopped up reels. But yeah, on my story, I'm always posting what vitamins I'm taking, or the juice I'm making that day, or the meals that I'm cooking, and
very cool. I'll have to pay attention to that because I'm really big into health myself.
Yeah.
I could talk for hours about it.
Well, you'll look good.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
You're glowing.
Likewise.
Yeah. Thank you.
No, that's really incredible. 36 years old.
Yeah.
Like, you looking that young is not normal.
Yeah.
By any means.
Yeah.
So whatever it is you're doing, it clearly works.
Thank you.
And you're still modeling, which, that itself, being 36 in the modeling industry, has got to be very competitive. But I mean, your looks speak for itself.
Yeah.
So how is that going for you? Getting
it's good,
jobs?
I'm booking a lot of jobs, and I'm still working with a lot of photographers, and I'm getting more into working with like videographers and stuff. But definitely, my image is very important to me, which also my mindset I have to keep, really kind of like clear and on point and grounded, because when you go into a room with 20 some year old girls, and I can't start thinking, oh my God, I'm so old. Oh my God, this. I just bring out the confidence of the knowledge that I have from working for so many years. And it really shows, because they want to work with me again, or they tell me, oh my God, you're so experienced. And it actually, I feel like, makes it easier for me to be working with them or them working with me.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. Like, personality and confidence definitely goes a long way too, which I can definitely see you being older, having that life experience would help. Because a lot of these, young 18, 19, 20-year-old models coming into the scene, very awkward.
Yeah, exactly.
And they lack that self-confidence.
For sure,
So I see how that could give you an edge.
Yeah, and then lately I've been actually helping other models who are younger, trying to like give them the confidence, or helping them pose behind the scenes on their photo shoots, which is really cool too, because I've become like more of a leader, or someone they like ask me questions about their photo shoots and how would they do a certain pose, or
Oh, right on. Well, good for you. And you're clearly very tall. How tall are you?
I'm 6 foot.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a short torso, guys. So when I stand up and she's not wearing heels, we're actually the same height.
Yeah.
But no, you're very tall. That's not normal either.
No.
Have you like only ever dated tall guys in the past?
I've dated tall guys, but my exes tend to be at height, in which they claim they're 6 foot, but really they're just maybe a little shorter, because when I'm wearing heels, I'm like towering over them. But
right, makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't really judge on like how tall you are, but I feel like lately now I'm into having like a taller man, statuesque, to like feel
that
shorter
sense.
or smaller. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I assume you still want a guy who's like typically more masculine.
Oh yeah.
Right. So that must make it hard though with your dating pool, because I mean, you look at stats, right?
Yeah.
Typically men in the U.S., the average height is, I think it's 5'7". Don't quote me on that, but it's definitely well under 6 foot.
Yeah.
And then also men who are 6 foot, younger, good looking, make over 6 figures a year.
Yeah.
Ends up being like 0.0001% of the population.
I wonder why. No.
Yeah.
They go off of their good looks and not their smarts, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, how many relationships have you had in your time?
I mean, I've dated guys on and off, but like 2 very serious relationships. And I'm usually a long-term dating girl. I like to be in a relationship. I like to play, like we're husband and wife, cooking and doing all the things together. But right now I'm actually single and I'm loving it. And I have been owning my being single and honestly like trying to focus on myself and working and not really dating too much right now. But, when someone asks me on a date, I'm not going to say no. Because it's fun.
As long as they pass the initial.
Yeah. There's definitely like a checklist now, because before I kind of tend to just be like, yeah, I like you. Oh my God. And then afterwards I'm dating them and then I'm like, oh my God, no, there's a red flag here, there. So now I'm really more, if they come to me, I have a list and
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So 2 serious relationships.
Yeah.
How long did each of those last?
The first one was 5 years, and then the one after that was like 3.5.
Okay. And then do you mind me asking you what happened to
both of them?
Cause the separation?
Oh, shit.
Yeah. We'll start with the first one.
Guys.
5-year relationship. So you're in your 20s?
Yeah, I was in my 20s, living in Fort Lauderdale, having a grand old time, modeling. I lived together with my boyfriend, and we were really fun together. He was like, we had the same friends group. It was really fun. It was ultimately me who wanted to change. I wanted to move to California. I wanted to experience some different things in life. And so I just kind of said, you can't leave because you're a lawyer and you don't want to, take the bar and whatever.
And was he 6 feet tall?
He'll claim he's 6 foot, but no, he was like 5'11".
Okay. I mean, basically, so he's just slightly shorter than you, but a lawyer, so he made over 6 figures. Was he a good looking guy?
Very, very good looking. Surfer too, so grounded, very, very striking features. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what about his masculine traits? Would you describe him as like a very masculine, dominating partner, or?
I wouldn't say. I mean, like body-wise, yes, he's like fit, and he has a good work ethic. But I mean, he was always by my side, if in that sense. But what do you mean by?
Like, was he the type of guy that took charge of the relationship, like made you feel secure, led you? Because a lot of women that come on here and I interview them about their preferences for men, they'll always tell me the best relationships they've had was with a guy who was traditionally very masculine, who was a leader, and allowed them, and this is a quote from a lot of women, they enjoy the aspect of being able to turn off their brain when they're around their man. Was he that type of guy?
Yes and no. Yes on some things, no on a lot of things. And maybe that's why I was like, oh, maybe, I don't know, I need to find somebody else.
Made it easier to leave.
Yeah. For sure.
That makes sense. Yeah. And then what about the second?
And the second was here in San Diego when I moved here. He was more of an artist. He, masculine-wise, wasn't I would say no, but very creative. And that's what I really enjoyed about being with him. It's like we're always doing fun stuff. And yeah.
Okay. So not too masculine, but creative, and intellectual?
Very, very intellectual. Yeah.
Okay. And what was the reason why you guys ended up splitting?
Well, funny enough, I think I have to say where we lived, it got mold, black mold.
Oh.
And the place that we lived was an amazing penthouse place, but it was kind of, it needed fixing up. And at that point,
his penthouse?
Yeah.
In San Diego?
Yeah.
Okay, so he was clearly like, as far as the wealth side goes,
well, it was rented, but yeah, I mean.
Well, I mean, still, like anyone knows California prices.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Insane.
Mm-hmm, yeah. And so I decided to leave, and then after I left, I was like, oh, I kind of want to be on my own now, so.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
What do you prefer in a male partner? Like you mentioned, you obviously want them tall.
Yeah.
You obviously want them to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
What are some other traits that you look for?
Definitely kind, generous. Definitely somebody who makes me feel secure. I love what you said about not having to think about a thing and they just do it all for you. That's really nice.
So like more of a traditional masculine.
Yeah,
What about
I do.
values? What type of values do you
very much communication. What other? Still letting me feel freedom. I don't want to feel trapped in a relationship. I love my freedom. I love traveling. So anyone who's okay with that. Yeah.
So what does freedom look like to you? Because I have my own ideas of freedom. Like, for example, if I'm in a relationship with somebody, like clearly, I work with women, right? I'm in entertainment. I've never had like a very traditional relationship, right?
Yeah.
So for me, it's important to have someone who is like perfectly okay, me going off to Miami, partying with a bunch of other hot models and all of that. So in my head, that kind of, resembles freedom in my mind.
Got it.
Is it similar to you, or is it a different take?
I could do without the models and all that
well,
stuff.
right,
That's
of course.
fine.
But I mean, like going out to the club with your girls.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would
Okay.
love someone to not, say a word. If I'm going out, I'm going out. If I'm with my girls, I'm with my girls. If I don't know, decide to sleep out, like, trust me, nothing else is going on. Definitely trust is a big thing in a relationship for sure.
Right.
So, yeah. And it's all up to us to say if we're or to have intentions of being, good or bad.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, as far as like your desire to go out, like being in a relationship, like would you say that if you're in a relationship with someone who like checked all the boxes and was absolutely everything for you, you'd even have the desire to want to go out without them?
Probably not. I really like bringing my partner with me if I'm dating them. I love experiencing that with them. I think it's really fun. I tend to actually do that and making them a part of, whatever event I'm going to. I'm like, hey, come. Yeah. But if they don't want to come, then yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, it's like typically what I've seen just from knowing so many different women. And also I do online dating coaching for men.
Awesome.
So I have a lot of conversations like this. And from what I've seen, typically speaking, women who do want to go out at night with their friends, party, like dress a certain way, the ones that are in relationships, usually they're not very satisfied with their man at home. He's lacking in a lot of different departments. And big complaint that I have is lacking in traditional masculine values. Like guys who don't go to the gym, play a lot of video games. It almost turns them off. So they're like, I kind of want to get away from my guy to go party with my friends. Oh, for
sure. That's how I would be. Yeah. I definitely like being seen. And if I'm with a guy who's, tall and beautiful and wants to be seen with me, it's like a big plus.
Right. So really, you like being seen. So you go out to the club. I assume you enjoy like getting some attention from the guys at the club, right?
Yeah, of course.
But if you're with the man who checks all the boxes, do you think you're going to still desire that attention?
I think that if I have a man with me, that it's going to happen less. But if they're confident if the guy is confident, I think that's a big plus to see how they actually react in that type of setting, because I am so tall and beautiful.
Right, well, naturally, you're going to get attention.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, some of the models that I've dated in the past, like tall, beautiful, like yourself.
Yeah.
Every time we go out, it's like, throwing a steak in the wolf pen, Like,
yeah.
Everyone's looking, like, even if I'm like right next to her, like guys will come to the bar.
I mean,
like, hey, you wanna...
I get hit on left and right, even when I'm with a guy.
Right,
so,
that's natural. That's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
So my question for you is, like, being in a relationship with that person who checks all the boxes.
Yeah.
Is that still going to make you feel good about getting that outside attention? Or are you going to want to avoid it at that point?
I think I maybe will avoid it because I have all I need with me,
That makes sense. Yeah, like some women I've interviewed and asked similar questions. Like everyone has different perspectives, of course. So it's interesting to hear yours. And I'm sure the audience appreciates it too, comparing to some of the other girls that have been on the show.
Oh, yeah.
I've had some women who just are very attention hungry and just love to have the attention of other guys all the time, even when they're in a relationship.
Yes.
But then I always see women say, well, when they were dating the guy who checked all the boxes, they didn't desire that at all. They actually found it annoying when guys would look at them, check them out in the nightclub, like especially if they were with that guy at the time.
Really? Yeah.
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 Does that make sense to you? Do you kind of align with that?
I think that I don't need attention from anybody else if I have all the attention I need, but I do agree with the comment you made about the other girls, even when you're in a relationship with another guy, that they're just like always out to get whatever attention, which I don't align with that. Because I don't do that to, like, if you're in a relationship, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, I've always had a problem with who I'm in a relationship with. Like, I've seen it as a big red flag if they wanted to go out to the club, which, I've only ever had, I would say, 3 very serious relationships in my life.
Yeah.
And, I've casually dated and whatnot. So it was a little different if they wanted to go out to the club, But within my serious relationships, none of them wanted to go out to the club because they didn't want the attention.
Yeah.
They really didn't desire even just dressing a certain way to go out and get looked at by men.
Yeah.
But with the women that I work with, a lot of them, like half of them probably, have boyfriends.
Yeah.
And they still choose to dress very provocative, go out with their girls.
Yeah.
And they accept the attention from other guys at the club, whether it's getting the free drinks or just getting talked to. They still enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, yes, of course. Like, I love to look good. I love to dress up. I love to be with my girlies. And I love to be out and about and, being looked at. But I don't think it's to snag another man. I think it's just like the attention does help. It helps boost your confidence, and especially if you're in a relationship, sometimes you tend to be, you pull back from being, like, oh, I'm going to dress this way, which you should still dress up. You still should feel good. So I think a little bit of attention from any stranger would help you just like or just know that you still got it, or,
Right. No, naturally, like, if you do receive the attention, it's going to be beneficial. It's going to stroke your ego a little bit. Everyone has an ego. I love my ego getting stroked. You do too. Everyone, to different degrees, of course. But if you were with the guy who checked all those boxes, was your everything, and your girls invited you out to the club, who were all single. And he had a problem with it. Would you say, like, okay, like, I'll stay home and respect you, or would you decline and still go?
I would sit down and have the conversation and ask him, why can't I go to the club? Why are you feeling this way? And if it is that big of a deal, then I wouldn't go. I would respect, but it has to be really a reason of, because, maybe, I don't know, something's going on with him, maybe. But usually I still go, because I know I'm coming home to you, so.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, from the guy's perspective, I've noticed 2 things, and usually the guys they lack a lot of confidence. They're not typically masculine. When their woman goes out to the club, it's more so of a insecure thing for them.
Yeah.
Whereas the very high value guys who are extremely masculine and confident, they have the issue with their girl going out to the club for a few different reasons. One, guys at that level like know how the nightlife operates, right?
Yeah.
Like they know that their girl is going to go get hit on and be invited to the booth, the VIP. Depending on what nightclub you go, there's going to be some A-list rap artist out there who's got cash in his hand, offering to go to the back booth or whatever. And even if you're trusting in your girl that she's not going to sleep with anyone, when you're at that level, it almost looks bad upon you when your girl is going out there. So guys with that.
Well, how often though is the girl going out?
Well, see, here's where we get into the gray area. If she's going out every other weekend or once a month, even in my opinion, doing that, like, that's some red flags. That's not something that I'm gonna want as a very high value man who's worked incredibly hard to get to where I'm at, just for my girl to like go out, show herself off, enjoy the attention. I'm not gonna tolerate that. Like, I'll pick somebody else at that point. And it's not me feeling like distrusting of her, right? It's just, I'm at a certain status and I don't have to tolerate certain things, right? But even with that, like, women see the attention as no big deal, and I don't really agree with it.
You don't agree with it?
No, I don't agree with it.
Well, what about if the girl wanted to go out as often as she does, but she wants you with her? Are you going to be like, okay, then
That's
I'll
different.
go? Okay.
So again, like women typically from what I've seen, when they really love and respect their man, they want to do everything with him. Right? So that's a different story. Now, of course, there's always exceptions like, oh, your girlfriend's having her birthday party at the nightclub. Like if, it's a bachelorette party and they're going to the male strip club and everything, that'll be a hard no.
Oh my God, hard no.
But,
been
like,
there, done that.
Girl birthday party, like that's different, right? That's like a once a year type deal. It's an exception. But those red flags really come up for me when it's like every other weekend or there's a certain pattern of them going out. It's like, I just don't want it. And I think it's fair.
Well, I can agree with you on that because I wouldn't want my man going out every freaking weekend with his boys and stuff because that does have a red flag to it, like, why do you need to be out so much? Are you not happy at home? So then you have to like really sit down and have that conversation with each other on like, why do you need this? Why is this fulfilling you,
Right. Well, also, if a man is going out all the time just to like have fun and there's no purpose behind it, he's probably lacking those work ethic values that you're looking for. When I go out, I rarely go out just for fun. Like, so
you mean you're networking
rare.
usually?
When
same.
I go out, it's either I'm making money or I'm networking. So there's a purpose.
Which is good.
Guys who want to go out and just have fun at the nightclub, spend a bunch of money, and there's no reason behind it. In my opinion, that's the same as playing video games. Being a loser on the couch, eating Doritos and shit.
I mean,
So then you wouldn't have a problem with your man going out if it was for business related matters.
No, I love a very goal-driven person, and so if you tell me you're going to try to like close the deal, I'm like, go.
Okay.
Do you need me? I'll come. I can help. But
Okay. Cool. This will bring me to the next question for you, and that's your views on cheating within a relationship.
Okay.
From both sides. Let's start. Let's start with women. Like, do you think there's ever, an exception to where if a woman cheats, a man should take her back?
Cheating's a hard one because you're breaking, that line of trust that you have with each other. And I feel like once it's broken, it's really hard to get back, and you have to work really, really hard. And whether you go to therapy or you refrain from going out to the clubs and all the things, I think you have to build that trust back. What was the question? Women cheating?
Yeah, specifically women cheating.
Yeah.
Like if a woman cheats, do you think there's ever a scenario for the male involved to accept her back after that?
I think yes, if there's really a very good, like a true love there, I think you can work on it, and yes, but I also can see the other side of, no, you shouldn't, she broke the trust, and also, I don't know if this is if you think about this, but maybe he's like weaker to take her back, but it's ultimately their own situation that they need to figure out. Okay. Sure, yeah.
And what about from a male perspective? Like if the man in the relationship went out and cheated, do you
Hell
think?
no. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So do you think there are exceptions for certain scenarios for women to take him back?
I think so, yeah. I mean, we're all like on this one journey, and people make mistakes, and it's our choice to either say, no, you're not allowed in my life again, or I love you, let's work on this. And there can be second chances for sure.
Okay.
I think.
So here's my opinion on it. And then I want to get your feedback based off of what I'm saying. So I believe male loyalty and female loyalty look completely different.
Okay.
Men love completely different than women.
Okay.
Women love completely different than men. Mm-hmm. A woman who truly respects, again, key word, respects, not love. So you mentioned that love, if it's there, it can heal. But if a woman does not respect the man she's with, that relationship can't work, no matter how much love there is. Mm-hmm. So a woman going out to cheat, and there's different forms of cheating too. There's talking, entertaining. I think, in my opinion, a woman simply entertaining the attention of another guy is on an equal scale as their man going off and physically cheating.
Definitely.
And the reason why is women's brains and men's brains work completely differently. Mm-hmm. A woman, when she goes out and cheats, there is so much thought put behind that. A woman doesn't just randomly go out and like accidentally hooks up. There's a lot of thought. Like it is pre-planned. Yeah. If she's planning on cheating, she's thought about it for months already before she goes out to the club and makes it happen. Yeah. Whereas a male's brain, we don't think about it that way. A man can accidentally slip into some P word and he'll be like, whatever. No emotional connection behind it. Right. Where women, like, it's very well known, even on one-night stands, women release certain hormones that develops an attachment. So there's a deeper emotional connection behind a woman doing it. Yeah. So I always tell my male clients that I do relationship and dating coaching for, if your woman cheats on you, there's no going back, because that means there's a lot of steps that have happened in her head already for them to make that decision, and she lacks all respect for you. Yeah. If that man were to take the woman back, she's not going to gain any more respect for you then. She's probably going to have less respect for you because that man isn't showing respect for himself. Right. And again, this sounds very unfair, kind of one-sided. Some people would say it's a misogynist argument. But I'm thinking about it more from a practical view based on just how we're genetically created, right? Yeah. A man going out to cheat, that means nothing for him. Yeah. Like, there are exceptions where a man's like dating someone else, right? Like, some men have secret families from across the country they see half the year, right? That's an exception. Yeah. But typically speaking, man going out, hooking up and cheating, he doesn't care. He's not planning on financially providing for that woman. Yep. Like, loving her, building a relationship. It just happens. Right. And especially with high-value men who have worked their entire life to be big, tall, strong, masculine, make a lot of money, be charismatic, they're usually more inclined to cheat. Yeah. And it doesn't mean anything against their woman that they're with. I've known guys who've had millions of dollars who stood at like 6'5", absolutely shredded, very charismatic. Everybody loves them. They're good fathers, good people, make an incredible amount of money. Yeah. They have made choices to just have something different where they're not bringing that back into the relationship. And I think at that point, again, this is very controversial, but I think it's okay to repair that relationship. Okay. And it shouldn't be a deal breaker.
For the woman to repair it with him.
For the woman to accept the man back.
Accept him back. I get it, but I wouldn't accept them.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, no.
Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, to each their own.
I mean, yeah, it's your choice. And I mean, I wouldn't, again, it's like respect and trust. And I don't trust you at that point. And how can you live with someone if you don't trust them or try to build a family with them or whatever? Because once that happens, like you said, to a woman, we're very emotional and things hit different when things like that happen. And so we would, in the back of our mind, probably be wondering, oh, I wonder if he's doing it again. I wonder if this and that. And we can't live like that. That causes cancer and disease and all the things and stress and hair falling out and everything. So
yeah. So for your own personal choice, you would decline.
I would decline.
But in general, do you think, based off of what I said, do you think a relationship can still be repaired, and a woman, if she, has all those boxes checked, do you think she should just go back?
It's so hard. I don't know. I mean, I know so many people who have gone back, and I don't know if it works or not. Like, you can say yes and go back. I guess it's all up to the person. I can't just really say, yes, they should go back, because it definitely is all about whoever it's happening to. Yeah.
Right. And obviously cheating and lying, it's not good. Like, I don't advocate for men going out to lie and cheat with their women.
Of course not.
I feel like, men being built differently, especially the more, say, alpha you are, the more testosterone you have, you're more inclined to want more.
Do you think you grow out of that as a man gets older?
It depends. A lot of people go through many different stages in life.
Yeah.
I've seen men their entire lives were playboys in different marriages, relationships, cheated their entire time. But then once they got to a point where they started aging and they valued just peace in their life, that's when they're, stop building their empire, stop conquering in the world. They're more inclined to settle down with one woman and just enjoy their kids and whatnot. But usually men who are in that process of conquering in life, building up their inner masculine energy, and that usually goes for decades, like starting in your 20s, all the way, if you stay healthy, go up to your 60s.
Damn. I know some.
And I've seen those men love wholeheartedly one woman, but still desired things outside, even once in a while. I don't advocate for them cheating, but what I do say is, if you are that type of guy, you need to be honest with yourself, and you need to be honest with your partner about it.
Of course,
And I think at that point, it is something that should be accepted. Society really preaches one man, one woman. And again, religious values aside, that's just how we're taught here in the West anyway. But that kind of goes against most men's primal masculine urges. Would you argue different?
No, I agree.
So you see that point. Okay, and then this leads me to my next question for you. Hypothetically, you find that dream man, every single box checked. Your heart is completely fulfilled in every single way. He provides for you everything you could possibly want, takes you on endless vacations around the world, love of your life, but he tells you, once in a while, I want something else. What are you doing?
I'm not that person. I just don't like I don't like other people involved. I am just a one-man woman in a sacred relationship, so I would be heartbroken, I'm sure, and I would probably leave the relationship even though the lifestyle was amazing and he was the perfect person. But that ultimately is part of my belief system of being truthful and also trusting you, and being just for me, I guess.
Okay. Fair enough. Let's talk about traditional values.
Okay.
So in today's society, I noticed ever since the sexual revolution in the 60s began, increasingly it's become more accepted that both men and women have multiple partners. And then with the creation of birth control, it's gone crazy. And there's this atmosphere that we live in that almost pushes women to have more sexual partners, go out, give themselves away. Do you think that is harmful to women?
I think so, because every time when you're with a new partner or a new man, it's a new energy, and you can feel that in your body. I fully believe that. And so you have to be really, like I said, sacred with your body. Your body is a temple. And I don't knock having other partners, because that's just what their preference is, maybe, and what gives them... like sometimes you're bored with your partner and you're like, oh, I wish I had another, probably someone else to like fulfill it. I get that. I've never done that, but I don't say that that's bad or anything. I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I believe if someone wants to go and do it, hey, by all means, you
yeah, and I would never judge anybody doing that.
Yeah, same here.
I think it's cool in some sense.
I have lots of friends that I work with, wonderful ladies that like to do that.
Yeah.
Hey, by all means.
Yeah.
But I would never date you seriously.
Yeah. Exactly.
Or would I advocate for a high value man to be married to you? And there's some reasons behind it. Again, the world's not fair. This is just my perspective on it. There is a lot of data out there that indicates that a woman, once she has slept with more than 6 men, the chances for a successful marriage go all the way down to 20%.
Really? Yeah. I have never heard that, and that's scary.
I'm going to have Dan, my producer, post some of that information down below, but it's really interesting to see that those numbers drop. And right now, marriage succeeding in America is already very low. Yeah. But that's interesting to see how specifically for women, once you go past the 6 body count.
That's like college, though. Like, I feel like people go through college and you've already been with 6 partners. Right. And look at the marriage success rate today. Divorce is out the window. And I think this goes back to those family values. Again, like having both a mother and father in the household in a healthy relationship, raising children with the right values is going to prevent women from wanting to do that. Because I've talked to so many women about this subject. Usually the ones who are more inclined to go out, have sex with lots of partners, come from an unstable household. Oh, yeah.
The ones who really value their body count every single time, both mom and dad stayed together, were in a healthy relationship, and specifically the father had a huge influence on that woman's life. Yeah. And the people that I know who are still married today, the woman came from that type of background.
Yeah, I fully believe that as well. Yeah. And then, I feel like people can grow from that, but you have to do a lot of work. You have to really wake up and see what you're doing in your life and change it.
Of course, people can change.
Yeah, of course.
Now, let me ask you from the man's perspective, because every woman that I've interviewed, and I ask them, what type of guy, they always say the same thing as we already talked about, the confident, charismatic, and usually those guys have had a lot of experience with women. And as a man, you really do need experience with women to be good and being able to attract a very high value woman who's desired by everybody. I don't know how your DMs look, but most girls' DMs are blown up with all kinds of dudes from around the world, hey, come on my yacht, Dubai, come party, want to go skiing in the Swiss Alps, right? So there's a lot of competition already. So as a man here in the West, in America, you really got to build yourself a certain way. And if you're the type of guy who's waiting for marriage, it's going to be really difficult to find a high value woman.
Right, yeah.
So do you think men should go out and experience more women?
You don't have to sleep with them every time you meet them, get drunk and go home with them, because that's definitely the wrong path. But I believe before all the dating apps and all of that organically meeting someone and getting to talk to someone, looking someone in the eyes and asking the right questions is the way to go if a man wants to meet a woman.
Right. I mean, in today's day and age, organic meeting is almost non-existent.
I know. You got to put yourself out there. The
best dating app in the world right now is Instagram. Yeah. It's just everyone's personal life shown online, right?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
I can't remember. I think it was 7 years ago now. was the last time I actually met someone organically.
Yeah.
Like in public at a gym.
Yeah.
And had a relationship out of it.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, it's a long time.
Everyone since, it's met online or met through doing business.
Yeah.
But yeah, like an organic meet is...
It's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It is. You just have to put yourself out there.
Right.
Like go to the random places. I don't know.
Oh, like all the luxurious, like...
Yeah, whatever that is, whatever networking event, whatever, you know, saying yes to like a friend's party, or you never know what will happen. Or traveling, actually, is a big one too.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Right? Like for both men and women, if you want to attract someone who's very just at the top levels, and that looks different, in my opinion, between men and women. I think if you're a top level guy, you're financially successful. Again, masculine, work out, good looking, tall, handsome, right?
Yeah.
And then women, I think it's more valuable if you have a nurturing nature about yourself, as well as being, you know, gorgeous.
Yeah.
But all of those types of people usually go to these very expensive places in the world, like Mykonos, St. Bart's, Miami, even out here in California, Orange County attracts a lot of those types. So what's your take on the average person? Again, like someone in the Midwest or in one of the big cities like Boston, New York, who's just living their average normal life. What do you think are some things that both a man and a woman can do to better themselves in order to attract a high value partner
in those areas?
Yeah, I mean, just anyone in general.
Yeah. I guess that's hard because a lot of it is going out, you know, like concerts and all of that.
I'm talking about more for like self-development. Let's start with men. From age of 18 years old, what do you think are some things that men can do to develop themselves to be attractive to a high-value woman?
I would say hang out with older people. Get wiser, get knowledge on how to be in situations or be in a circle of people, because ultimately women love someone who is mature. It's more masculine to me if you have like a maturity about you, but still like be funny and be cool, but just be mature. So find like a little bit of a older friend group. Also maybe don't get stuck in the nightlife scene and that type of thing, because that's going to pull you down to a bad path for sure, I feel like. And it's just you are who you hang out with. So if you're only hanging out with like promoters and nightlife people, then you're only going to be looked at as kind of, he must be a playboy, he must go out every night and he must talk to every single girl.
But usually girls are attracted to that type.
Yes and no. Like, I'm not.
I mean, initially, most women are attracted to the bad boy. Like
the bad boy, but a guy working on his car.
Are you ever attracted to like the truly nice guy?
I am. Yes, every time.
At first.
Every time. Yes.
Really?
Well, I don't like an asshole, because I'll call you out. That's the thing about me, is like, you're being an asshole sometimes. I mean, if I know you, you're not like.
But you do like a guy with a backbone.
Yeah, I mean, it's good, it's nice, but it depends.
I've been told that I'm a really nice asshole.
Nice asshole?
Yeah. I'm good at being a dick when it's needed. I have a backbone, and I'm not afraid to speak my mind.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to the core of it, like, I treat people in general just really well.
Yeah.
Like, even most of my one-night stands, instead of just literally kicking them out the door when I'm done, like, I'll stay with them, I'll make sure they feel good and valued, that I'm not just there to, you know, take, like, hey, I got what I needed out of it.
Do you call them afterwards?
It's debatable.
Yeah.
Right? But I still, like, take the time to make them feel valued.
And that's nice. And that's good. Yeah. You know, because it's not just about a one-night stand. It's about you know, had these intimate moments with each other. I mean, a person who's just like, get out is, I don't know, wrong, maybe psychopath, no. I don't know.
There's a lot of those types out there.
I know. Get it together.
Right. From your experience, have you noticed that, like, a lot of men lack in the sexual department as far as being able to please a woman?
I don't think so.
But you've been pleased for the most part?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, their experience, I think experience does help, so I don't know, you're going to have to, get out there and get experience.
Right, maybe you're only seeing...
Or you can be with an experienced woman and we'll just tell you everything you need to know and then you do it and then...
But do you want that as a woman?
I know some people do. I mean, it's half and half. Like, if something's happening and I'm not enjoying it, I'm going to be like, hey, you need to fix this, you know? But
it's going to be a little bit of a turnoff if you have to get to that point,
I mean,
right?
yeah. But, yeah. I mean, obviously, when the guy comes in, he knows everything and to do to you, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you've only been with, like, higher caliber people. It's like a lot of women that I interview, their biggest complaint with one-night stands is most guys, quote-unquote, just don't know how to fuck.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're left unsatisfied, and then they're even more pissed off because, like, damn, I just, like, had another body, like, and this guy
is that a one-night stand?
couldn't even take the time. Well, yeah, with one-night stands.
Okay, yeah.
Obviously, with relationships, you know, you're building a different level of trust. With a woman being able to climax, 50% of it's mental.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Like, you know, men. So I know some guys out there who get beat off by a homeless person and be satisfied, right?
Oh my God, yeah.
Women can't do that. Like, you have to have some type of emotional connection.
For sure, yeah.
To be able to climax.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of men lack in that department is they really only focus on themselves.
That's it, yeah.
And that's a big complaint that I hear from a lot of women.
Yeah.
But that hasn't been your case.
No, I mean, that's a complaint, I guess. Yeah. Some, for sure. There's like half and half of like really good ones or some that are just like, not great. But lately, that's been, I don't know.
All right. Makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I think nowadays I like to get to know someone before I even have a one-night stand anymore, or just because I've had relationships and I know what I'm looking for and my time is limited in a sense, you know? So I'm like, I rather get to know somebody on a deeper level and then, see if it can work rather than just like, my needs aren't met with a one-night stand, basically.
Right. Yeah. So you're typically more inclined to get to know somebody.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it makes it more fun. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I hear that from every single woman, even the women who do like to hook up frequently.
Yeah.
Most of the time they don't get satisfaction from those one-night stands, but when they wait a little bit, then they see satisfaction.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Do you think you would advocate for women to avoid one-night stands and actually wait?
I think so, yeah. I think it's important to get to know somebody before you have sex with them, unless you're just wanting to have a drunken night and like, I gotta have, some sex. But I think a lot of women are more in love with the fact of like having the connection with the man rather than just having sex with them, Right.
And again, it comes back to how both men and women are built.
Are different.
Women are releasing an emotional response during intercourse. Men simply aren't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Cool. Well, hey, I really like your perspective.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah.
Guys, if you like that episode, please leave some feedback in the comment section below. Be sure to like and subscribe. And Brittany, tell me, or tell the audience, where can they find you?
So my IG handle is @BeLoveButler, and I'll be on there.
Cool, you heard it, guys. Well, that's it. If you like the conversation and you want to see her on again, please let me know so too. If there's anybody else in particular you'd like me and my team to reach out to have on the show, also let me know. And that's it, guys. Thanks for tuning in.